The money years came around twice for our next queen. Kylie Minogue, half showgirl, half titan. It doesn't matter what professional or personal tragedies you throw at her, she always bounces back. It's no coincidence that Kylie is an Aborigine word for boomerang. She might have been born in Australia, but it took the British pop machine to turn her into Kylie Minogue.
She's an honorary Brit. I mean, she's more British than she is Australian.
We've even given her a medal, just for being Kylie.
Miss Kylie Minogue, for services to music.
But it's not just services to music. Kylie's job is to be permanently 6 months ahead of the rest of pop, with her hair, her harmonies, and her hot pants. If you see the same Kylie 2 months in a row, you must be in Madame Tussauds. But whichever Kylie she is, she gets that rare public response. Love.
Kylie's been around my whole life and, you know, I've always got a little spot for Kylie in my heart.
Well, she just looks gorgeous. You could just eat her. That's what it is.
It's been her job to be Kylie since she became a child actor at the age of 11. But we first met her as the tinder-haired Charlene in Neighbours.
She was already a massive star in Australia. She was already on the front of magazines. She was on TV talk shows. You know, people were following the storyline of Neighbours every day.
Something wrong? This is my voice.
Enter 3 young producers.
Stock Aitken and Waterman might sound like a firm of solicitors, but together this unassuming trio are currently changing the face of pop.
We had this deal in Australia with this Australian record company. So I sort of, in a foolish moment, promised that we would produce this girl called Kylie Minogue.
I came for about a week or 10 days. Was completely ignored up until about the last day. And I recorded I Should Be So Lucky virtually on the way to the airport, back home.
They taught her the song, she picked it up straight away, she sang it and was gone, that was it.
The video and the song were perfect enough to totally change her life in 3 minutes flat.
We gave her one of those little songs that every now and again comes along, absolutely fits the picture perfectly.
It was the late 80s, but it was a pretty retro picture. Love was for kissing, videos were for pretty shoes, Kylie was safe for the kids. It was like rock and roll had never happened.
They're almost like 50s love songs, but with like 80s, you know, instrumentation.
The girl is in a fantastic relationship and she doesn't want to believe it's over until this guy puts his hand on his heart and says that it's over, until he really means it.
Put your hand on your heart and tell me, that's such an old school notion.
Mrs. Mitchell.
Oh, Scott.
Can I have a word with Charlene, please?
I think that much.
Kylie became more tantalising thanks to rumours of an on-set romance with her Neighbours co-star.
Take me right.
Tea Time Britain was glued to the puppy love affair between Charlene and Scott, played by Jason Donovan.
Oh, whoever said there was anything that special about me, anyway?
Hey, I reckon you are.
Scott.
Now, every generation there's like a TV romance that comes along that people put all of their hopes and dreams on, and that was, you know, Kylie and Jason.
This was the start of us getting enthralled with who Kylie was kissing.
Lindsay, what's your question?
Do you think you're going to get married in real life?
Well,
are you?
We've actually worked together for a long time and we've been really good friends. I suppose, as we were saying before, the press tend to beat up stories that we're actually going at, we're more than what we do on television.
Well, Jason and Kylie were together, which, you know, I can confirm, everybody, Jason and Kylie were together from day one.
But Jason's days were numbered.
And we get a call from Kylie in her car to say, look, I've got to warn you, you might have the press all turn up at your door in a minute. Why? Well, I've just announced that I'm going out with Michael Hutchins.
Slide on me and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I've got to let you know.
Hutchins, lead singer of Australian rock band In Excess, was all leather trousers and long hair. Kylie had gone to the dark side.
We could handle Jason because we knew him. We knew where he was going, we knew what the threats were. And I remember turning around to Mike Stock and saying, you know what, it's always better the devil you know. And he went, That's the title. Off we go.
When asked what his hobbies were, Michael Hutchins said, corrupting Kylie.
From Michael Hutchins, Kylie grew up. She became very aware of her own sexuality. The how much clothes can I take off in this video? How seductive can I be with this male dancer? She became stronger in her opinions about her career, about her image. It was like a switch. It just went click.
Her videos got steamier. She even played a pint-sized hooker in the video for Word Is Out. Stock Aitken and Waterman couldn't believe it.
Kylie was the girl next door. I Should Be So Lucky, Better Than Ever You Know, obviously were believable for the public. Word Is Out and dancing, you know, in a dark corner, dressed as everybody went, this is not the Kylie. This is not our Kylie. Kylie is not a prostitute. End of story.
Although there were 6 singles after that, when the contract was up in 1994, Kylie left Stock Aitken and Waterman.
I look back at when I started, which was very controlled, but I don't think you're meant to leave that kind of hit factory, and I wanted to have more to do with the end result.
It would have been very easy to stay there and be the oldest pop star in the history of old pop stars. But Kylie was growing up. She didn't want that.
Kylie wanted credibility. She wanted the freedom to have black and white photo shoots and to wear glasses. Her first single, Confide in Me, was weird and swoony. It didn't sound like the Kylie we knew. And that was exactly the point.
Well, I didn't know that Confide in Me was a Kylie song. You know, I'd heard this great song on the radio, and for me, I like the sparseness of it and the slightly kind of eerie nature of the vocal. It's quite a spooky song.
It said that she was here to stay and she was standing on her own 2 feet as a singer, not just as a pop star.
More confident than ever, Kylie Minogue says she's changed, and so have her fans. No more hysterical teenagers. These days the press makes more noise, and the new album means unveiling yet another new image.
They call me the wild rose, but my name was Eliza Day.
The teenagers had stopped screaming for her. Not that Kylie could hear anyway, she was covered in duckweed. Then, just in time for the new millennium, Kylie remembered she wasn't an indie princess, but a pop queen.
She lost herself and then she found herself. And then suddenly she started singing pop songs again.
Even though she'd already had this career, like, you know, as an actress and singer, and then she kind of, like, evolved and came out as this, like, really sexy, gorgeous woman.
In 2000, she saw the light, and so did half her arse cheeks. Spinning Around was a monumental hit.
There was a sort of prerequisite from the record company that it had to be smiley and she had to be blonde, because that was the Kylie that people had previously responded to the best. So she tried them on and put on a pair of high heels, and it was just like, oh my God, you know, yeah, wear those.
Those hot pants, I think they're in a museum.
Can't Get You Out of My Head was the biggest single of her career a year later in 2001, and it gave Kylie what she'd been chasing in the 90s, a hit with credibility.
The kind of Can't Get You Out of My Head period where she really leapt back into people's consciousness. You know, that was a genuinely influential record.
I wanted her to be more aggressive. I wanted her to be a little bit dirtier than we had seen Kylie before.
It redefined the pop video, and it redefined that very cold sort of icy electro pop sound. Became something that people were copying for the next 5 years.
Here we are at Earl's Court.
On a roll once again with a world tour, the only thing that could stop the showgirl did. Life.
Pop singer Kylie Minogue has been diagnosed with the early stages of breast cancer. This morning, the 36-year-old star postponed the Australian leg of her world tour to begin immediate treatment at her home in Melbourne. But she said she hoped to be back at work soon.
Back at work she was. Within 18 months she was in remission and back on stage. It was the biggest comeback of her life.
She comes back from adversity and she does it with absolute panache.
There's just something about Kylie also that she's so likable and you're rooting for her.
We love Kylie because she pulls off what our native British stars find so tricky. She can do sexy one minute and cute the next.
She ain't been around for so long by doing the same old thing the same old way every time. She does things that shock people, keeps people interested.